between siblings. Locals in the Indian Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir tied Rakis and offered sweets to army personnel stationed in Soni village along the line of control in Uri sector. And on the auspicious occasion of Raksha Bandhan, President of India Draupadi Murmu also extended her greetings, cherishing the bond between sister and brother. In a post on social media platform X, President wrote, and I quote her, "On the auspicious occasion of Raksha Bandhan, I extend my heartfelt greetings and best wishes to all the countrymen. This festival, based on the feeling of love and mutual trust between brothers and sisters, instills a feeling of affection and respect towards all sisters and daughters. On this festival day, I urge all countrymen to take a pledge to ensure the safety and respect of women in our society." And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended greetings on the occasion of Raksha Bandhan. In a post on social media platform X, Prime Minister Narendra Modi wrote, and I quote him, "Best wishes to all countrymen on the occasion of Raksha Bandhan, a festival symbolizing the immense love between brothers and sisters. May this holy festival bring new sweetness in the relationships of all of you and happiness, prosperity and good fortune in life." Unquote. All right, we'll go across to DD India's Kriti Vadera. She is joining us live from Delhi. Kriti, you are in the national capital. People must be lining up at the shops to buy sweets and Rakis.
Oh, well, good morning, Abhishek. And yes, I am standing at the heart of New Delhi, which is the central part of the Delhi. And it's a very popular market. And since morning, we have been witnessing that people have been coming to these sweet shops and gift shops to buy, special gifts for their loved ones on this auspicious occasion of Raksha Bandhan. And yes, many different sorts of sweets and Rakis were available in market for this festive season. And when we talk about special Rakis, so there's a very special Rakhi which I would like to show to all the DD India viewers and to you also. I request my camera person to please zoom in. These are the special floral Rakhis, Abhishek, and see, we are talking about sustainability in terms of festivals. So these are the floral Rakhis which are available in market, and people are actually liking it and buying them for their brothers. Rakhi being the festival of love and joy, and a festival where the sibling affection is quite visible. Sisters tie this talisman, a thread of love and affection, on their brother's wrist, and as a reciprocation, the brothers are gifting them back with good gifts, and a sense of protection is given to the sisters throughout the nation who will be tying this talisman, the special thread of Rakhi on their brothers' hands. So this is how the enthusiasm of the Raksha Bandhan festival is being visible on the streets of New Delhi today.
Kriti, also before we leave you, tell us, you have already told us the rituals that are followed in the festival. For the benefit of the viewers, tell us the significance and importance of this festival.
Well, Abhishek, when I talk about Raksha Bandhan as a festival, so in Hinduism, if I go back to the Hindu scriptures, the mythological rich stories, so the period of Mahabharata also reminds me of this festival when Draupadi tried this auspicious thread on Lord Krishna's wrist. So in India, people have this tradition of tying the first Rakhi of the day to Lord Krishna, being the protector of the world. And likewise, there are several stories related to this festival which reflect the importance and significance of love and affection among siblings of Raksha Bandhan. And this festival is all in all associated with auspicious time of the year, which is Shravan Mas again. And today it is the full moon night, if I talk about the actual auspicious time according to the Hindu Panchanga. So today the Raksha Bandhan festival will be after 1:30 p.m. as per the Hindu calendar. So these are several things which are which make this festival culturally rich when we talk about Raksha Bandhan as a festival. And yes, of course, the enthusiasm is at its peak. Sisters are all set to tie this auspicious thread on their brother's wrist.
All right, Kriti, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for your inputs. Now let's take a look at other stories making news. Locals in the native village of India origin US astronaut Sunita Williams prayed and performed Hindu rituals on Sunday for her safe return. Residents of Jhulasan village in the western state Gujarat gathered at a temple dedicated to Hindu god of destruction Shiva. They chanted hymns as they performed yagna, a Hindu fire ritual for Williams. The Hindu holy month of Sawan, which is observed in India, concludes on Monday. It is coinciding with the festival of Raksha Bandhan, which celebrates the bond of brother and sister. Devotees across India are visiting Lord Shiva's temples to offer prayers and seek blessings on the last Monday of Sawan. Observing the auspicious festival of Raksha Bandhan and the conclusion of Hindu holy month of Sawan, renowned Indian sand artist Doordarshan Patnaik created sand art at the Puri beach, which is located in the eastern Indian state of Odisha. Time now for some business updates. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is set to convene a crucial review meeting on Monday to assess the performance of public sector banks and regional rural banks. This meeting aims to evaluate key financial metrics and the effectiveness of various government schemes, ensuring that these financial institutions are aligned with the economic goals. Finance Minister, along with other participants, will review deposit growth, the credit-to-deposit ratio and asset quality, which are vital indicators of the bank's health. The meeting will also cover initiatives for micro, small and medium enterprises, performance under government schemes, recent interventions and any pending issues that require attention. Sports updates now. We'll start with Cincinnati Open. Holger Rune ends Jack Draper's run in the quarterfinals and becomes first Danish player in ATP Tour to reach semi-finals. In the first ever meeting on the tour, the Dane defeated the British #1 in straight sets during the quarterfinals in Cincinnati. Holger Rune dominated the match as he won 6-4, 6-2 after taking his chance on the only break point of the first set, which put him 3-2 up. The match went on for an hour and 16 minutes, making it Rune's shortest match at Cincinnati Open 2024. Rune will face Francis Tiafoe in the semi-final to secure a spot in the finals. And in women's singles, Arna Sabalenka beat world #1 Iga Swiatek for the first time this season to secure a spot in the Cincinnati Open finals. The pair had met twice before in 2024, but Sabalenka had lost both. This match was the first time Sabalenka beat Swiatek in straight sets, finally getting the best of her rival 6-3, 6-3. Sabalenka, who is in her first Cincinnati Open final, said she feels she had finally broken the wall. Sabalenka is now set to lock horns with Jessica Pegula in Monday's final, who defeated Spain's Paula Badosa 6-2, 3-6, 6-3 in the other semi-final. Tennis to football now. Reigning Premier League champions Manchester City began their campaign with a win against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. On Sunday, Erling Haaland, who made his 100th appearance for Manchester City, opened the scoring with 18th-minute goal. In the second half, Chelsea tried to fight back when Nicholas Jackson received a deflected ball from Manchester City's goalkeeper. However, the Senegal forward was found to be offside. When Chelsea failed to fight back, Mateo Kovacic sealed the deal for Manchester City as he scored another goal for the team in 84th minute. Cricket now. Australia is set to host a one-off test in 2027 against England at the Melbourne Cricket Ground to mark 150 years of Test cricket. Australia won the single innings timeless match played between March 15 and 19 by 45 runs before England won the second match at the same venue to tie the series 1-1. In 1977, the 100-year anniversary of the inaugural test was also observed with a test between Australia and England at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, with Australia winning the match again by 45 runs. Talking about hundreds now, Oval Invincibles defeat Southern Brave in the final to clinch the 100 title for the second consecutive year. Invincibles became the first men's side to win the 100 back-to-back after they beat Brave convincingly by 17 runs. Brave started the chase strongly but then collapsed from 58 for no loss to 102 for 7 thanks to Adam Zampa's initial breakthrough and Saqib Mahmood's 3 wickets in 7 deliveries. Will Jacks put on a crucial all-round performance as he scored a 22-ball-37 and took the key wicket of Brave skipper. Jamal Mills led the Braves attack, taking 3 for 33. And before we end, Colombians parade on beds on the World Day of Laziness. This event marks the closing day of an annual festival that has been held since 1985. The event reflects a playful spirit and serves as a reminder to take a break from the stress of everyday life. Over the years, the festival has grown in popularity, drawing crowds who come to lay back and channelize the spirit of laziness. All right, that's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome to Jharkhand, the land of forests. Mesmerizing abundance of nature. Vast accumulation of natural resources. Rich legacy of contributing to India's economic foundations. Preserving a vast and diverse tribal culture. With diverse offerings, Jharkhand is a haven for various tourism activities, shaping India's future generations with quality education, a breeding ground for future sports persons. Come, experience the sheer richness of nature and culture, diversity of tribal heritage, traditions and craft, and progressive development and growth.
Welcome to Jaipur. Prepare your heart for a roller coaster ride called Madhya Pradesh.
Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken says it's a decisive moment for Gaza ceasefire talks, calls on Israel's President Isaac Herzog. Ukraine continues to make incursions into Russia, claims to destroy a second bridge in Kursk region. Democratic Party to officially nominate Kamala Harris as its candidate for the US presidential election. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to visit the US to seal a drone deal and strengthen defense ties. And a man with no travel history is the first Mpox case in the Philippines, the third country outside Africa to report Mpox this year. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has returned to Israel to secure a Gaza ceasefire. Blinken described the latest diplomatic push by Washington, D.C. as probably the best, maybe the last opportunity to get hostages home. In his meeting with Israel's President Isaac Herzog, the top U.S. diplomat said Washington, D.C. was working to ensure that there was no regional escalation amid concerns over a possible attack by Iran.
This is a decisive moment, probably the best, maybe the last opportunity to get the hostages home, to get a ceasefire, and to put everyone on a better path to enduring peace and security. I'm here as part of an intensive diplomatic effort on President Biden's instructions to try to get this agreement to the line and ultimately over the line. It is time for it to get done. It's also time to make sure that no one takes any steps that could derail this process. And so we're working to make sure that there is no escalation, that there are no provocations, that there are no actions that in any way could move us away from getting this deal over the line, or, for that matter, escalating the conflict to other places and to greater intensity.
While thanking the ceasefire efforts of the United States, Egypt and Qatar, Herzog said there is no greater humanitarian objective and there is no greater humanitarian cause than bringing back the hostages home.
At the bottom line of it, people have to understand it starts with the refusal of Hamas to move forward. We are simply still very hopeful that we can move forward in the negotiations that are held by the mediators. And I want to thank the United States, Egypt, and Qatar for their efforts on behalf of this noble cause. There is no greater humanitarian objective and there's no greater humanitarian cause than bringing back our hostages home as they should have returned long ago.
And Sarah Coates joins us from Tel Aviv for more. Sarah, how's Blinken's visit coming along? Tell us more.
Well, he's also spoken to President Herzog just a few minutes ago, as you just mentioned. He said that it's time to start saying yes and not look for excuses to say no. Now, while there is a lot of hope on the ground that something here can be achieved, there really isn't too much optimism. And this, of course, is why Secretary of State Blinken is here, his 9th wartime visit to the region. He's really trying to use diplomacy to get this deal done after months and months of negotiations. But it certainly seems as though this is going to be very difficult. Overnight, Hamas seemingly rejected this latest offer put on the table by the United States, saying that after being briefed by mediators about what happened in the last round of talks in Doha, we once again came to the conclusion that Netanyahu is still putting obstacles in the way of reaching an agreement and is setting new conditions and new demands. Now, also, Benjamin Netanyahu, he met with senior cabinet ministers last night, saying that the chances are not high. Now, one of these major sticking points that we're seeing here is who controls the Philadelphia corridor. This is this thin strip of land that separates Gaza and Egypt. Now, Israel wants full control of this corridor, saying it would stop smuggling into Gaza from Egypt, but Hamas has come out to say that this condition wasn't in the last plan. It was presented and it completely rejects that. So certainly there is a long way to go here for the US Secretary of State, amid other reports that Benjamin Netanyahu, he had a fairly angry conversation with his team of mediators before they're preparing to fly out to Cairo for this next round of negotiations. So certainly what we can expect Blinken to be doing here on the ground is really trying to soften Benjamin Netanyahu's stance and finally get this deal across the line as the death toll in Gaza grows. And also, so does the threat of Iran hitting Israel and also Hezbollah.
All right, we'll leave it there, Sarah. Thank you, appreciate it. Sarah Coates reporting there from Tel Aviv. In other news, Ukraine's Air Force claimed to have destroyed another strategic bridge over the same river in Russia's Kursk region. Now, this has limited the supply capacity of the Russian group opposing the Ukrainian advance. A video was posted on social media showing a growing cloud from an explosion on a bridge and one of its sections destroyed. Kyiv said it had seized more than 80 settlements in Kursk since launching a surprise strike across the border on the 6th of August. The bridge is the second attacked by Ukraine since Friday. Earlier, military analysts said that there were 3 bridges in the area of the Ukrainian army's offensive through which Russia supplies its forces, and that 2 of them have been either destroyed or seriously damaged. As fierce battle between Russia and Ukraine continues, Russia recaptures some of its own territory and some parts of Ukraine as well. The Russian Ministry of Defense said it has taken under its control the settlement of Sveredonivka in eastern Donetsk region. Meanwhile, officials in Russia say Ukraine is threatening the security of a nuclear power plant. Dasha Chernyshova has more.
Evacuation is ongoing in Russia's Kursk region. More than 1,700 people have been evacuated from the border areas, according to Russia's emergencies ministry. Authorities in the Korneevsky district of the Kursk region say the situation there remains difficult and warn the residents against returning back home. Russian Ministry of Defense said it continued to attack the Ukrainian positions in the Kursk region and in Ukraine's Sumy region. In Belgrade, authorities say several districts have been attacked by Ukraine, resulting in wounds among the civilian population. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said on Sunday that the threat to the security of such facilities as the Zaporizhia and now the Kursk nuclear power plants is created exclusively by the actions of the Ukrainian armed forces. In the meantime, the president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, said on Sunday that Ukraine had stationed more than 120,000 troops at its border with Belarus, and Minsk had deployed nearly a third of its armed forces along the entire border. Lukashenko said the Belarusian-Ukrainian border is as mined as never before, and that Ukrainian troops would incur huge losses if they decide to cross it. Lukashenko said that Kyiv had formed powerful forces with the participation of mercenaries, including from Poland, to attack Russia's Kursk region. He also said that Kyiv's incursion is an attempt to provoke Moscow to use nuclear weapons. Dasha Cherneshova in Moscow, reporting for DD India.
Russia's President Vladimir Putin is in Azerbaijan's capital Baku on a two-day visit. He was greeted by Azerbaijan's President Ilham Aliyev. Putin is expected to hold talks with Aliyev on bilateral relations and international and regional problems on Monday. Now, this marks Putin's first trip to Azerbaijan since 2018. It comes at a time when Russia aims to reassert its role as a mediator between Azerbaijan and its adversary, Armenia. The U.S. Democratic Party's convention will kick off in the city of Chicago on Monday. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris reached the city ahead of the party's convention. Thousands of politicians, delegates and speakers are enthusiastic about officially nominating Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz to lead their party in the November election. Earlier this month, she secured enough pledged delegates to become the Democratic Party's nominee. She will formally accept the nomination at the convention. Harris joined the presidential race nearly a month ago after Joe Biden exited the race and endorsed her on the 21st of July. The main part of the convention will take place at the United Center, home to two professional sports teams in the city, the Chicago Bulls and Chicago Blackhawks, which has a capacity of more than 20,000. Harris will address the convention on Thursday. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is looking past the convention to the 10th September debate against Harris by enlisting the help of former Representative Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii. Gabbard dominated Harris on the debate stage in 2020. Tension escalates in the South China Sea. China's Coast Guard said a Philippine vessel that had ignored its repeated warnings deliberately collided with a Chinese vessel in an unprofessional and dangerous manner. In a statement issued on Monday, China's Maritime Security Agency said the same Philippine vessel then entered waters near 2nd Thomas Shoal after being prevented from entering Sabina Shoal waters. China's Coast Guard said it took control measures against the Philippine ship in accordance with law and warned the Philippines to immediately stop infringement and provocation or bear all consequences. China and the Philippines reached a provisional agreement in July after repeated altercations near the 2nd Thomas Shoal. China has been sharply criticized by Western nations for aggression in blocking Philippine efforts to resupply troops aboard a Navy ship that it intentionally grounded 25 years ago. Beijing claims almost all of South China Sea, including both shoals, rejecting a 2016 ruling by the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague that Beijing's expansive claims had no basis under international law. South Korea and the US kicked off annual summertime military exercises on Monday, seeking to boost their joint readiness to fend off North Korea's weapons and cyber threats. The Ulchi Freedom Shield exercise, set to end on 29th August, comes as North Korea races to advance its nuclear and missile programs and tries to launch reconnaissance satellites. The drill will reflect realistic threats across all domains, including the North's missile threats, but also GPS jamming, cyber attacks, and other lessons learned from recent incidents, the two countries' militaries said. South Korea will separately carry out the simultaneous government-led Ulchi civil defense drill under the scenario of a nuclear attack by the North. Seoul and Washington, D.C. say the exercise is defensive and a response to the North threats. Outgoing Indonesian President Joko Widodo has appointed people close to his successor in a cabinet reshuffle. Jokowi, as the president is commonly known, will leave office in October. He'll be replaced by President-elect and current Defense Minister Prabowo Subianto, who won the election in February. Bahlil Nahadalia, formerly the Investment Minister, will be the new Energy Minister, while former Ambassador to the United States, Rozan Roslani, will be the new Investment Minister. Both men campaigned for Prabowo during his presidential run. Bahlil later said he would prioritize working on incentives to promote efforts to reactivate idle energy wells and reverse the decline in Indonesia's crude oil import. In a statement, the presidential palace officials said the appointments are needed to prepare and support the government transition so that it works well, smooth and effectively. By the current political upheaval and unrest in Bangladesh, the Bangladesh diaspora was seen on the streets of New York City. Carrying large banners, they took out a rally to protest against the atrocities on Hindus in Bangladesh. And now take a look at what else is making news around the world. New Zealand's population growth has come to a near halt as tens of thousands of people exit a spluttering economy for pastures new. Rising living costs has forced New Zealand citizens to leave the place, leading to an increasing number of emigration in search of more affordable living conditions elsewhere. In 2024 till June, more than 130,000 people had left the country. An aquaculture base deep in the Taklamakan Desert of northwest China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region has achieved success in seafood farming, with various aquatic species flourishing in the desert environment. The site includes 2 fish ponds, a breeding pool and a seafood production workshop, currently hosting around 100,000 aquatic species for trial farming. And still to come on DD India Live. Holger Rune becomes the first player from Denmark to reach an ATP Tour semi-final.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. The Philippines has detected a new case of the Mpox virus in the country, the first since December last year, as per its health department, adding that it awaits test results before being able to determine the strain. The patient is a 33-year-old Filipino male who had no travel history outside the Philippines. The World Health Organization on Wednesday declared Mpox as a global public health emergency, its highest form of alert following an outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo that had spread to neighboring countries. The new form of the virus has triggered global concern as it seems to spread easily through routine close contact. African countries affected by the Mpox virus are ramping up measures to ensure the virus is contained. The virus has so far spread to at least 13 countries on the continent, and the World Health Organization warns of a potential to spread even further. Sweden and Pakistan have also reported cases, with the EU announcing a travel advisory to the affected countries. Isabel Nakiria has more in the next report.
To the outbreak, affected countries in Africa have created incident management teams to step up preventive measures. Teams have been deployed at borders and at the airports to carry out testing and detection, contact tracing, and increasing awareness to ensure compliance. Isolation units have also been set up at the borders, where suspected cases are monitored as samples are taken for testing. Now, the World Health Organization says it's releasing $1.5 million in the coming days to respond to the emergency. The WHO is also speeding up the process of listing the vaccines available for emergency use. Countries in the global north have been urged to donate stockpiles of smallpox vaccines, which can also be used for monkeypox. Isabel Nakiria in Kampala reporting for DD India.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been continuously monitoring the Mpox situation in the country in the wake of the outbreak of the disease prominently in Africa. Dr. P.K. Mishra, Principal Secretary to Prime Minister, chaired a review meeting on the status of preparedness for Mpox in the country. The World Health Organization declared Mpox as a public health emergency of international concern on the 14th of August. The high-level meeting was briefed that as of now there is no reported case of Mpox in India. As per an assessment, the risk of a large outbreak with sustained transmission is low. Mishra told officials to enhance surveillance and take measures for prompt detection of cases. He directed that the testing laboratories network should be geared up for early diagnosis. 32 labs are equipped for testing as of now. An awareness campaign will be taken up regarding preventive public health measures against the disease. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is going on an official visit to the US. Mr. Singh will be embarking on the 5-day visit to the US on the 21st of August. He is scheduled to meet US Defence Secretary Lloyd Austin. As per sources, India-US may sign the MQ-9B unmanned drone deal during the visit. India's Defence Acquisition Council amended indigenous content and other aspects of the deal. Rajnath Singh will also meet representatives from the US defense industry, and the minister is also scheduled to interact with the Indian diaspora. Nepal's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Arzu Rana Deoba, is in India on a 5-day official visit at the invitation of India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. In a statement, the Indian Ministry of External Affairs said this visit aligns with the tradition of regular high-level exchanges between India and Nepal. The ministry noted that Nepal is a priority partner in India's neighborhood-first policy. The visit will provide an opportunity for both nations to discuss and review the progress of bilateral cooperation and further advance their ties. Malaysia's Prime Minister Dato Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim will be on a 3-day visit to India starting Monday. Now, this will be the first visit by Anwar Ibrahim as the Prime Minister of Malaysia. The External Affairs Ministry said Prime Minister of Malaysia will hold bilateral discussions with India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday. During his visit, he will also meet India's President Draupadi Murmu and External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. India's top court has taken suo motu cognizance of the alleged rape and murder of a Kolkata doctor. A 3-judge bench presided by Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud will hear the matter on Tuesday. The resident doctors of All India Institute of Medical Sciences in New Delhi said that their strike will continue. They've decided to provide certain OPD services free of cost, though. India's President Draupadi Murmu has greeted people on Raksha Bandhan. In a post on social media platform X, the President wrote, and I quote, "On the auspicious occasion of Raksha Bandhan, I extend my heartfelt greetings and best wishes to all the countrymen. This festival, based on the feeling of love and mutual trust between brothers and sisters, instills a feeling of affection and respect towards all sisters and daughters. I would like that on this festival day, all the countrymen take a pledge to ensure the safety and respect of women in our society," unquote. And India's Prime Minister Modi extended his greetings on the occasion of Raksha Bandhan as well. In a post on social media platform X, the Prime Minister wrote, and I quote, "Best wishes to all countrymen on the occasion of Raksha Bandhan, a festival symbolizing the immense love between brother and sister. May this holy festival bring new sweetness in the relationship of all you and happiness, prosperity and good fortune in life," unquote. Now, on the occasion of Raksha Bandhan, symbolizing the cherishing bond between sisters and brothers, school children tied Rakhi on the wrist of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In exchange, the Prime Minister blessed them with happiness, prosperity and good fortune in their lives. The Prime Minister also spoke to the children with warmth and affection, emphasizing the importance of values, unity and care. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman chaired a meeting to review the performance of public sector banks on various parameters in New Delhi on Monday. The meeting was attended by Secretary Department of Financial Services along with incoming Secretary M. Nagaraju and the MDs and CEOs of PSBs besides senior officials of the Department of Financial Services. In sports news, Holger Rune ended Jake Draper's run in the quarterfinals to become the first Danish player to reach an ATP Tour semi-final. In the first ever meeting on the tour, the Dane beat the British #1 in straight sets in Cincinnati. Rune dominated the match as he won 6-4, 6-2 after taking his chance on the only breakpoint of the first set, which put him 3-2 up. The match went on for an hour and 16 minutes, making it Rune's shortest match at Cincinnati Open 2024. Rune will face France's Tiafoe in the semi-final to secure a spot in the final. India's President Draupadi Murmu paid floral tributes to former President Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma on his birth anniversary at Rashtrapati Bhavan. The former president served as the 9th President of India and has a long and distinguished political career, and he contributed significantly to the development of the nation. In 1984, Dr. Sharma was elected as the 8th Vice President of India, serving in that role for 2 terms until he was elected as a president in 1992. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of DD India Live. You can catch all the latest news and updates on the DD India mobile app. It's available on Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screen to download it. And let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also check out our website ddindia.co.in. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Ramesh Ramachandran. All of us here in New Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.